Wow. Somehow my cat jumped and started the video. So I don't know how that happened, but okay. This is a message for someone who's going through an awakening. And I know how difficult of a time that can be. Depending on the stage of awakening you're at, going through an awakening where your entire reality is shifting before your eyes and your entire perspective of the world is completely shattered and you're rebuilding it. It's not easy. When you're going through the dark night of the soul, it feels heavy and it's not fun. So I'm just going to channel a message for anyone who resonates with that, who is really starting to wake up to things that they didn't understand before, or maybe see it from a different perspective. Don't mind the cat noises. It's just something we're gonna have to deal with here. Okay. Okay, interesting. Ooh. I'll show you these in just a second. Let me get a couple more. These cards come out a lot. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, okay. So we have the root chakra that came out first. Ground and center. The violet flame. This is the violet flame of transmutation. The infinite. Vulnerability. Surrender. So, going through this phase of feeling so vulnerable, like it feels like your security and everything you've ever understood is completely shattered, broken down. You feel so vulnerable. You feel like your armor has been completely shattered. And this can be scary and it's painful, but there's a need for you to understand that you're meant to surrender to this process, okay? You surrender to the fires that are burning you alive so that all of the old goes away and the new infinite being is reborn like a phoenix. I mean, that's what is basically happening. It feels like everything is different and will never be the same. And our ego wants us to think that's a bad thing. But the truth is, you're going through a metamorphosis. Like a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. You surrender to this process. Because this process, it works, okay? We're afraid of it because we've never experienced it before. But just like the butterfly's genetic makeup, like the caterpillar already knows it's going to be a butterfly, right? It already knows. It's not, questioning that process. It's not like, oh my goodness, I'm turning into goop. That's so scary. I don't want to turn into goop, because they know that they're going to spread their wings. They know it's just a process. You need to surrender to the fire, the inferno that feels so scary, but it's literally just burning away all of the things that are no longer meant to be yours. Any pain, traumatic experiences, beliefs about yourself, they have to be burned away. You need to surrender them to the fire, throw them to the fire, let go, allow those dense energies to be transformed. All right, so now I have another deck. We're gonna see what else we can add to this message. I know when your foundations break down, it's kind of scary because, you know, you need resources to survive in this world. You know, you need the ability to feed yourself, travel, you know, those are really important and things that we tend to take for granted. And when it almost feels like they're ripped away from you, it leaves you in a very vulnerable spot. It's hard for us to surrender to that process because with our limited minds, it's scary. It's scary because what if we don't succeed? What if we, you know, can't find our next meal, which is really sad, but it is a part of the process. When you start to transform your understanding of things like finances, or, you know, seeing where you have been sabotaging yourself and learning those lessons, you know, you have to be vulnerable before you can rebuild armor that will actually protect you, that will actually serve you, that will actually give you the resources that you deserve. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Interesting. That also came out in the last reading. You got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Boundaries. Yeah. So this feels like severing ties to the past way that you've understood reality, you know, and trusting that you can have faith in the future. You can allow yourself to be vulnerable presently so that you can rebuild a foundation that actually makes sense for you to exist in. Got empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, and absorbing what's not yours. So absorbing what's not yours and energetic sovereignty with codependency and boundaries. It's possible that the paradigm shift that you're going through with this transmutive energy is breaking toxic connections with other people. You know, being codependent, letting other people's energy affect you and determine your reality for you. This is breaking that. This is not allowing other people's perspectives to rule your life anymore. Which is kind of what happens. There's a lot of people who are closed-minded who don't really understand what you're going through. And when you finally break through that and realize that's not what you're here to do, that's not what you want to do, you don't want to follow that crowd. You aren't here to surrender to what everyone else is doing. You're here to surrender to the process of growth, learning what you authentically are here to do. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. You are being shattered for a reason. Everything is being seemingly destroyed for a reason, because you can't find your truth and your true strength without starting from the bottom. Yeah, you need to surrender to the fact that you're not in a place where you will understand it. You don't have clarity. You're not supposed to. Sorry for the loud cat sounds. She's crying for you. Goodness, let me get another card actually. The Golden Children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. I like that there's actually a mirror. You see, there's a mirror in 2 of the cards that you've gotten. This is looking into the mirror and seeing what is yours, what is you, and what isn't. This is literally shattering the reflection of what has existed in the past, what other people have created for you. This is literally shattering this idea or perspective that you've been following for your whole life up to this point, right? You feel vulnerable and emotional because you are literally cracking your heart open, and you have no choice. Trust that it's a part of the process. It's an important part of the process, okay? It's a very important part of the process. I feel like I need more cards, so I'm going to go get another deck. I only had 2 decks out, and I realize now I definitely need more for this reading. We are not done. We have just scratched the surface. Give me a second. Alright, I also am going to take a sip from my tea. This is green tea. Maybe it's a sign you should also get a nice cup of tea ready to listen to this reading. Nurturing yourself, super important, especially when you are in such a vulnerable state. It's really the little things that'll help you keep moving through the metamorphosis. Jasmine green tea, so good. Let's get back into this. What other information or guidance can I give you? This one came out. Build in breaks, saunter slowly. This process is not one you can rush through. And I know that's probably not what you're here to want to hear. But I'm telling you, every process takes time. It could be longer for you, it could be shorter for you, but every process takes time. And it's really up to you to surrender and allow. It's not easy to allow yourself to be in a space your ego really doesn't like living in. A space of vulnerability, a space of not having clarity, not understanding the next step. Our minds want to fight that so bad. We're so bad at that. We really tend to want to just push forward, you know, especially with uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable emotions. We want to just get through them and get to the other side of that tunnel. But this tunnel is a long one, and this tunnel may have obstacles at first. It is learning how to maneuver those and have faith that you are headed the right direction, even if to you sometimes it doesn't look like it. Sometimes we can't tell, but that is also a part of the process. Ooh. Breadcrumbs of bliss. Heed your pleasure principle. This is a very bright card and it's super colorful. And if you are going through a dark night of the soul, I mean, look at the juxtaposition of these. This is very moonlit, dim, and this is very bright, like the sun. Following your bliss in the dark night of the soul kind of phase of your life, while important, it's also not easy. and it's not exactly what you would assume it means. Heeding your pleasure principle, following the things that make you feel good, bring you passion and joy. When you're going through a dark night of the soul, sometimes you can't really tell what that is because it doesn't feel as joyful. It's not as passionate because it looks different. Basically, following your pleasure principle. This is how art comes out of darkness. This is the part where you are so on the bottom, rock bottom, that you're not afraid to do what you need to. So this is the artist who, through all of the pain, would not be able to survive unless they create these pieces of art. It's what they live for in that moment. This doesn't have to be an artist. This could be, maybe you really like writing. Maybe writing is going to make you feel really fulfilled. There's probably something that you know, something like that. Something that you pour the energy that you have into, because during this vulnerable state, you don't have as much energy. A lot of the times, you don't have all of the resources, especially if they seem to be getting ripped out from under you. This is the thing that is going to help you push through. That's why I say small things like making yourself a cup of tea. Maybe you live for those moments of respite within the chaos. I feel like that was a lot just to say, do the things that make you push through. Do the things that make you remember that it is worth it. It might just take time. Ocean of emotion. Find a safe place to express your true feelings. A lot of the times when you're going through a dark night of the soul, it takes the connection to something or to someone. There are a lot of deep emotions that come up. There's a lot of limiting beliefs, patterns, dense emotions, traumas, things like that come to the surface. All of those dark, dense things come up and it feels inescapable because you can never run from yourself. That is one thing. During an awakening, you will not be able to run from yourself. There is no running anymore. There is no distraction anymore. It will all come to the surface. And when it comes to the surface, you really need a safe space to express that. You need safe connections to express that. You need someone who, if you tell them, I don't have the energy to do this in this way right now, I need you to support me. I need you to allow me to take the time, make the space. I need you to let me be a little weird right now because I'm trying to figure out a lot. You need those kind of connections that will really help support you during what can be a very dense time. Flip it upside down, question your beliefs. All of this stuff is going to come to the surface. You are going to observe all of this, and you may feel very vulnerable when it comes up. But that is a part of the process, and you do have to surrender. I have a fourth deck. Don't mind the cats. Maybe that's a message, I don't know. Maybe you have cats that are acting a little weird right now. Maybe they're acting different towards you because they realize you're acting different. I know during some low moments, there are times where the cat that least likely would want to snuggle, doesn't like being touched, chose to curl up with me and sleep with me. Maybe that's a message for you. If not, you know, take what resonates. I felt the need to share, so. The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness. Self-compassion is super important during this time because you really have no choice. There's no reason to be hard on yourself because it's not something you're doing. It's not because of you, I'm telling you. It's not something you're doing wrong or not doing enough of. It's just time. It is time. You have finally gotten to a stage of life where you have unlocked the next level. And I know it feels like a step backwards, but it's actually just the catalyst that is going to catapult you into some world you can't even imagine yet. Awakening, although painful, difficult, and you recognize a lot of things that you never recognized before. Sometimes you feel really disconnected from other people. It's a part of the process, and although it feels painful, it is just a part of the process of building the new. Destruction comes before creation. It is the first step of it. A final piece is created from a bunch of different parts coming together. You have to crack open, literally shatter what was, to understand what has always been. That made me a little emotional. You have to shatter what was to understand what has always been. I'm sorry. The Great Mother. Surrender to the mystery. Fall into her arms. Surrender to the mystery. It's okay that you don't understand, because I promise it's meant for you. It's meant for you to go through this transformation, and you are doing exactly what you need to. And if you are here, I am offering you so much support. So much support. Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this. Soul call, gather. This is a time of such deep transformation that when you come out of it, you will bloom and you will follow exactly what you're here to do, because you will understand. There will be clarity, but first you have to surrender to this. Rose without thorns, you have the right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. This is your future. Time is an illusion, okay? This already is. The potential, your capacity for it, it already is, okay? This is shattering all of the old perspectives. So what I'm thinking, a good way to describe this. Imagine that your whole life, from the time you were born, right before you opened your eyes for the first time, you had these lenses thrown on your eyes, these lenses that made everything look gray. Everything is black and white. That's how you viewed your life all the way up until the age of 27 is what's coming to me. I don't know. Imagine until you're 27 years old, you're perceiving the world through grayscale lenses. And one day, they shatter. And you realize that your eyes see in color. The grayscale vision that you have had for 27 years of your life has now shattered, and you see such vivid, beautiful colors, like a rainbow, a kaleidoscope of such brilliance you didn't even know possible. Things are not just different shades of gray. Things have dimension and color and beauty. This is seeing beauty for the first time. At first, your mind is going to be like, I'm not okay. Something's wrong. I don't know what to do. This is scary. Do you think I did something? What if I never go back to normal? An absolute breakdown. An absolute, utter breakdown. It's chaos. It's scary. And you try to explain it to other people, and they're like, that's not possible. I think you need to seek therapy. I don't think you're okay. I think you need to see a doctor. I don't know. That's not normal. There's something wrong with you. And that leaves you feeling so vulnerable, so disconnected, so scared that something is happening that isn't meant to. But I am telling you, that is truth. Those doctors that put the grayscale filter on your eyes, that's clearly not truth. It's the norm. It's the status quo. It's what we've understood for 27 years of our life. But then, oh my gosh, that's not it. There is more. There is more. I'm telling you, your ego will tell you this is a hard time. This is scary. I feel so alone. But I'm telling you, it is a part of the process. It is a part of the process. The second bloom, a second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. A second bloom, a second birth, an awakening is almost like being born again. That's what it means. That's what it means to wake up. To wake up means that you re-recognize what it actually means to be human. This is a second maturation process that you're going through so that you can create and understand beauty and your specific purpose here. You are important. You are doing amazing, and you are exactly where you need to be, actually. And it might be scary, and you feel disconnected, and so you're really scared that it's never going to go back to normal. But the truth is, once you integrate this experience, you don't have to live it again. You just get to share and express authentically. And authenticity comes when you actually learn who you are. And that is not always easy or fun, but it's because our perspective is trying to, fix itself, get back into equilibrium. When a pendulum is swung so far to the false indoctrination, other people's opinions, inner critic side of the spectrum, and you swing to a completely different reality, it's going to feel completely unbalanced. It's going to be terrifying. It will be you will feel ungrounded. Just know that's a part of the process, and you'll have to swing. Oh, but they said this about me. Why is that not true? Oh, but I have this dark, traumatic past, but maybe it's here to teach me this lesson. Eventually, as the pendulum keeps going, with it's trying to get back its equilibrium. By the time you get through all of that in this beautiful journey, it will stabilize. You'll no longer have to swing all the way to self-doubt, self-critical, what other people have created for you to live, and complete upheaval and destruction of those beliefs and creation of new things and a new reality. Eventually you'll be able to stop swinging so drastically and so quickly and so, overwhelmingly, and you will find stability, groundedness, and equilibrium. And in that, after you learn, after this process of shadow work and diving deep, you will bloom again. You will be reborn. You will be transformed when you surrender to the process. You come back yourself. Fully balanced, fully aware yourself. You not only will experience clarity again, but you are clarity when you surrender and follow your call, your path. You are the new you. You just have to let the cocoon fall away and understand that this goopy period you're in is just a part of the transformation. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know I'm just a person on the internet, but you are so loved, and you are exactly where you need to be. I'm telling you. Good luck, okay? Bye.